Millionaire invited the black cleaning lady as a joke, but she showed up like a diva and everyone. Jackson Reed loved to throw parties that got people talking. His sprawling mansion in the Hollywood Hills had hosted celebrities, CEOs, and socialites who all knew one rule: Jackson's gatherings were the stuff of legend. Crystal chandeliers, a private string quartet, waiters in tailored black, champagne fountains, and, of course, gossip. Jackson lived for gossip. That's why, when his best friend Ron dared him one afternoon, half-drunk by the pool, to invite Monica Dash, his new cleaning lady, to the next black tie party, Jackson didn't hesitate. "It'll be hilarious," Ron snickered. "Imagine her standing there with the senator's wife." Jackson laughed, swirling his Negroni. "I'll do it. Let's see if she even shows up." Monica Johnson had only worked for Jackson for 2 months. She was a single mom, mid-30s, with dark skin that seemed to glow when she smiled. But Jackson had never really seen her smile. She was fast, quiet, efficient. Always in her gray cleaning uniform, hair in a tight bun, eyes lowered. She never gossiped with the other staff. Jackson knew nothing about her except that she arrived on time and left without saying much. So he left her an invitation in her locker. Black envelope. Embossed gold letters. "You are cordially invited to the Reed estate for an evening of cocktails and elegance. Dress code, formal black tie." He waited to see her reaction. But she didn't even blink. She just tucked it into her purse, nodded, and went back to mopping. Jackson and Ron laughed about it all week. "Do you think she'll really come?" "God, I hope so. I want to see her in that gray mop uniform next to everyone in Versace." They didn't tell anyone else. It would be their private joke. Saturday night arrived. The driveway was packed with luxury cars. Valets in white gloves. Photographers at the gates. Inside, the mansion sparkled with white roses and candles. Jackson held court near the grand piano, scotch in hand. He wore a custom black tuxedo with sapphire cufflinks. Ron was at his side, already tipsy, eyes scanning for celebrities. "She's not coming," Ron said confidently. "Probably too scared." Jackson grinned. "Or she knows her place." They clinked glasses and laughed. Then the room went quiet. It was subtle at first. A hush spreading like ripples in a pond. Heads turned. Jackson frowned and followed their gaze toward the grand entrance. There she was. Monica. But she wasn't in her gray uniform. She was in a floor-length emerald green gown that shimmered in the chandelier light. Her hair was down in soft curls that framed her face perfectly. Gold jewelry at her throat and wrists. Her makeup was flawless, accentuating her strong cheekbones and full lips. She looked like royalty. She walked in slowly, chin lifted, eyes scanning the room calmly. People parted for her as if by instinct. Jackson's mouth actually dropped open. Ron choked on his drink. "Holy, is that her Dash?" "Shut up," Jackson hissed. He tried to recover his smile, but it felt brittle. Monica didn't even look at them. A waiter approached, ready to shoo her away, but she took a glass of champagne off his tray with perfect grace and gave him a dazzling smile. The waiter blinked and backed off. She glided into the room. Conversation stuttered, then picked back up in hushed, excited whispers. "Who is that Dash? She's gorgeous. Did Jackson invite her? I thought it was A-listers only tonight." Jackson felt heat rising in his neck. This wasn't funny anymore. Monica approached a cluster of guests who included an art dealer, a tech billionaire, and a senator's wife. They smiled uncertainly. She didn't flinch. "Good evening," she said smoothly, voice like velvet. "Thank you for having me." They lit up instantly, delighted. "And you are?" "Monica Johnson. I do a bit of interior consulting." Jackson's eyebrow twitched. Interior consulting? It wasn't even a lie, exactly. She did have an eye for detail. His staff always said she reorganized shelves and centerpieces better than his decorators. But hearing it out loud, so calm and confident, it sounded like a career. He stalked over with Ron in tow. "Monica," he said too loudly, trying to regain control. "You made it." She turned to him slowly, that dazzling smile never wavering. "Of course. You invited me." "I did." She raised her glass, eyes glinting. "Thank you so much. It's a beautiful party." Jackson blinked. Everyone was watching now. He forced a laugh, but it sounded strained. "Glad you could make it." She nodded graciously, then turned back to the other guests. They closed ranks around her immediately, asking about her gown, her work, her thoughts on the art on the walls. Jackson stood there, drink in hand, suddenly feeling like the uninvited one in his own house. And the night was just getting started. Jackson hovered near the snack bar, swirling his drink like it owed him an explanation. Across the room, Monica was still glowing, now surrounded by a semicircle of guests. She laughed at something the senator's wife said, hand on her heart, charm radiating from every gesture. What just happened? Ron muttered beside him. This was supposed to be a prank. I don't know, Jackson said, voice clipped. But this isn't how it was supposed to go. She hadn't just shown up. She had arrived. And now somehow she was the center of attention. A jazz musician strummed a soft melody from the corner, but even his notes felt like background noise to her slow, graceful movements through the crowd. Later, Jackson overheard snippets as he passed clusters of guests. Monica? She's stunning. That color on her, pure elegance. She said she used to design sets for a theater company in Atlanta. Can you believe it? She gave me this amazing idea for my foyer layout. I need her number. I need her now. His own name wasn't being mentioned. That stung. Around midnight, the party's energy shifted again. Someone suggested a little game, 2 truths and a lie. It started as a light-hearted thing. Celebrities confessing silly secrets. Then someone said, let Monica play. She laughed modestly but agreed. All right. She held up a manicured hand and smiled mysteriously. 1. I once designed a stage set for a Grammy-winning artist. 2. I've been mistaken for a model more than 10 times. 3. I work as a cleaning lady. The room laughed politely, unsure. The cleaning lady thing has to be the lie, someone whispered. She's definitely a model. Monica waited until the hush returned. Then she gave a tiny shrug. Actually, I do clean houses. Or I used to. Until this morning. Gasps. Whispers. People turned in their chairs. Wait, seriously? No way. That's how you met Jackson? Her eyes flicked toward Jackson, then back to the crowd. Yes. He invited me. I thought it might be time to shift my role. Her tone was poised, not bitter. She didn't drag him. She didn't have to. The guests looked between her and Jackson, eyebrows rising. Ron elbowed Jackson, whispering, Man, you look bad right now. Jackson stiffened. He couldn't stop watching her. She wasn't just reinventing herself. She was rewriting the whole room. Later, Camille, the senator's wife, approached Jackson privately. You've been hiding her from us. Hiding, he said, a little too sharply. She's brilliant. I already gave her my decorator's contact. And she's funny too. Camille sipped her wine thoughtfully. She doesn't seem like someone who scrubs floors. Well, Jackson said tightly that was her job. You should be proud, Camille smiled. Your eye for talent is better than I thought. Then she drifted away, leaving Jackson standing there like a statue. An hour later, Monica stood on the balcony looking out over the city lights, champagne in hand. Jackson finally walked over. Enjoying yourself? He asked carefully. Very much. Thank you again. You're different tonight. Not really, she said quietly. I'm just not hiding it anymore. You had this dress in your closet? I had a life before this job. She didn't look at him. Just sipped slowly. You invited me as a joke, didn't you? His jaw clenched. He didn't answer. She smiled faintly. It's okay. Everyone underestimates someone. She finally turned to him. But it's what you do when they don't. That defines you. Then she walked back inside, leaving Jackson alone on the balcony, the laughter and warmth fading behind her. And somewhere deep in his chest, Jackson felt something shift. A tiny checkmate. Not on a board, but in his world. The next morning, social media exploded. Someone had posted a photo of Monica on the balcony, green dress glowing in the moonlight, champagne in hand, city skyline behind her like a movie scene. The caption read, This queen just stole the whole party. Who is she? Within hours, it had been reposted by fashion pages, lifestyle blogs, and even a celebrity gossip site. Camille had uploaded a group photo where Monica stood at the center, glowing with the elegance of a seasoned socialite. The comments poured in. She looks like a CEO. That dress. That energy. More interesting than half of Hollywood. Tell me she's not just a plus one. Text with preview for a YouTube caption. A millionaire invited his cleaning lady as a joke, but she showed up like royalty, left the crowd speechless, and became the center of the party. Now the media wants to know who she is, and he can't hide from what he did. By midday, Jackson's inbox was a storm. Camille texted, What's Monica's IG handle? I want to tag her in the photos. The head of a design magazine emailed, Does Monica Johnson do private interiors? We'd like to feature her. His assistant asked, Did you hire a new PR rep named Monica? People are calling the office asking for the woman from the balcony. Jackson closed his laptop and rubbed his temples. He'd wanted a joke. A meme. Something to snicker over with Ron. Instead, he'd launched someone else's reputation. Monica hadn't just shown up. She had stepped into a version of herself even he hadn't seen. And now she was bigger than the joke. Bigger than him. Meanwhile, Monica was having coffee in a modest cafe near her apartment when a woman in a pantsuit stopped at her table. "Excuse me. Are you Monica Johnson?" "Yes. I'm from Trendhouse magazine. We'd love to do a small feature on your style." Monica blinked. "Why?" "Because you're magnetic. Last night's photo has been reposted over 800 times." Monica smiled slowly. "I don't usually do magazines. We'll make it tasteful. Your story deserves to be heard." For a long moment, Monica said nothing. Then, "I'll think about it." That afternoon, Camille called. "So, everyone's talking about you. You know that, right?" Monica chuckled. "I noticed. You should come to brunch this Sunday. A few people want to meet you. Designers, a gallery owner, and a producer." "I clean houses, Camille." "Correction. You used to clean houses. Now you design them, decorate them, and stop parties with your presence. Is that how it works?" Monica teased. "It is if you walk in like you belong." By Sunday, Monica was at Camille's garden brunch wearing a sleek ivory blazer and wide-legged trousers that whispered confidence. She met people who actually listened, who didn't look at her name tag and move on. And she didn't hide who she was. "Yes, I worked as a cleaner," she told the gallery owner. "I also stage rooms, reorganize flow, balance light and texture. People just don't always see the value." The man leaned forward. "Would you consult on one of my art spaces?" Meanwhile, Jackson was spiraling. He hadn't heard from Ron in days. He assumed he was hiding from the embarrassment. Even Jackson's business partner mentioned it in passing. "That Monica woman, have you seen the press? I didn't realize she worked for you." "She's impressive." Jackson had wanted power, control, but he'd handed Monica the spotlight. And she had walked into it with dignity, not revenge. That somehow was worse. The final blow came when his assistant showed him a short blog article titled, "From Mop to Muse, Monica Johnson Redefines Grace." The image beneath it showed Monica at Camille's brunch, toasting with a flute of sparkling cider, sunlight catching the edge of her smile. The caption read, "True elegance has never been about money." That night, Jackson opened the same closet where he kept his black tuxedo, the one he'd worn when he invited her as a joke. He looked at it long and hard. And for the first time, he felt what it meant to be underdressed, not in clothes, but in character. Monica had never wanted to be famous. She wanted to pay her rent on time. She wanted her son to have shoes that fit and a backpack that didn't tear at the seams. She wanted quiet dignity, not viral posts. But fame had its own plans. The calls kept coming. A boutique owner wanted her to style their window displays. An influencer offered her a free wardrobe if she'd post herself in their gowns. Trendhouse magazine confirmed their profile piece, "Monica Johnson, from cleaning to consulting." Monica felt the ground shift under her feet, and it was dizzying. Camille, ever gracious, guided her gently. "Say yes to what feels real. Say no to what doesn't." "How do I know the difference?" "If it feels like you have to lie about who you are, it's wrong." Monica breathed in slowly. "That's good advice." "You're welcome. But you don't need me to tell you that. You already know." At home, she sat with her son, Malik, on the worn sofa. He was 11, smart as a whip, with the same stubborn chin she saw in the mirror. "Mama, people at school say you're famous now." "I'm not famous, baby. Just noticed. They said you wore a dress like a movie star." "Did they?" She smiled. "Did you like it?" He shrugged, feigning cool. "You looked happy." Monica's eyes misted. "That's because I was." But happiness was complicated. She kept replaying Jackson's face at the party, stretched in false welcome, eyes darting around as if hoping she'd disappear. She thought about quitting his contract immediately. But she didn't. Not out of fear, but because she refused to hide. So on Monday morning, she walked back into the Reed estate in tailored slacks and a crisp white blouse, clipboard in hand. She wasn't in uniform. She wasn't carrying a mop. Jackson was in the living room on his laptop when she cleared her throat. He looked up and froze. "Monica." "Mr. Reed, I'm here to discuss next month's schedule." He blinked, then set his laptop aside, bracing himself. "You're still coming? Why wouldn't I? I thought after everything." She didn't let him finish. I'm a professional. I don't ghost on clients. Silence. She saw his jaw work. You embarrassed me. Did I? Her voice was cool. He winced. Okay. You surprised me. She arched an eyebrow. That's not a crime. He ran a hand through his hair, looking tired. It was supposed to be funny. It was. Just not for you. She let the silence sit there. Mr. Reed, she said finally, voice measured, I know how you saw me. I know why you invited me. But you don't get to decide who I am. He swallowed. Monica. No need to apologize. I'm not mad. She leaned forward. I just want you to know I'm not ashamed of what I do. Or what I did. He nodded slowly. Noted. Good. She checked her clipboard. I'll need access to the sunroom at 10. And you'll need to clear your schedule if you want input on redecorating. Your guest room is hideous. Jackson blinked, then let out a startled laugh. Okay. Sure. She didn't smile, but her eyes softened. Thank you for the invite, Mr. Reed. It changed my life. And she meant it. After she left, Jackson sat there for a long time. He looked around the house, the glitter, the expensive art, the glass. And for the first time in years, he wondered if it was ugly. That week, the Trend House feature dropped. Monica's portrait was on the front page. Emerald dress, confident eyes. The headline read, Redefining Elegance, Monica Johnson knows who she is. Inside, she talked about her roots. Cleaning houses. Raising a son. Loving interiors. Design isn't about money. It's about respect for the space, for the people in it. I don't care if it's a mansion or a studio apartment. Everyone deserves to feel proud of where they live. Requests flooded in. People wanted her. Not just for the aesthetic, but for the truth she carried with her. Meanwhile, at his next party, Jackson found the vibe had changed. People asked him if Monica was coming. When he said he didn't know, there was disappointment. She had been the best part of the last one. And he knew it. He called Camille. You think she'd consult on the house for real? Ask her. She'll say no. Ask anyway. But Monica wasn't waiting for anyone's permission. She was booked. She was busy. She was on her way up. And for the first time in a long time, she was exactly who she wanted to be. Monica didn't become famous overnight. But she became known. The calls didn't stop. A local TV show invited her for a Women in Business segment. She sat under hot lights, palms sweating, but answered every question clearly. How did you get your start? Cleaning houses. Seeing their potential. What's your mission? Making sure no one feels small in their own space. The host smiled. You're inspiring so many. Monica took a breath. I hope so. I'm not special. I just stopped pretending I was less than I am. Clients called not to clean, but to consult. She offered sliding scale rates. She didn't forget the ones like her. You don't have to be rich to deserve beautiful design. She volunteered at a community center on weekends, teaching single parents how to transform small spaces with thrifted finds. She posted tips online and followers grew. Her son Malik learned to film her. Angle it down, Mama. You're short. Excuse me. She laughed, swatting him gently. They turned it into a game. Camille stayed in touch constantly. You're booked 2 months out. I know. Monica smiled tiredly. Isn't it too much? I want to make the most of it while it lasts. Who says it ends? Monica didn't answer. She wasn't sure. One evening, she walked through her new small office space. It had taken 3 leases falling through before she found one she could afford. Malik was bouncing a ball off the wall. Careful. It's empty anyway. It won't be. She imagined desks. Mood boards. A small sign on the door. Monica Johnson Interiors. Her name. No one else's. Meanwhile, Jackson Reed was doing his own rethinking. His parties felt flatter without her. Not that she'd come back. He still hosted them, but people brought her up without even realizing how it stung. That woman from last time, Monica, right? She was brilliant. Is she coming tonight? What happened to her? He'd fake a polite smile, then order another drink. Eventually, he worked up the nerve to text her. Monica, would you consider consulting on my guest wing? It needs serious help. He watched the screen for 10 minutes before it lit up. Sure. When? That was it. No sarcasm. No insult. He exhaled. Thursday at 2? See you then. She arrived on time. Professional. Calm. Clipboard in hand. They walked the space together, neither pretending it wasn't awkward. Jackson cleared his throat. You know. I'm sorry. Monica didn't look up from her notes. For what? For being a jerk. For trying to make you the punchline. She clicked her pen. Thank you. Silence. I deserved that, he admitted. Monica finally looked at him. I don't need you to feel guilty. I need you to trust me to do my job. He nodded slowly. I can do that. And she did her job. She transformed the space. Richer colors. Warmer light. Furniture that didn't scream money but whispered comfort. Jackson found himself standing in the new room alone, wondering why he'd ever thought it had to look so sterile. He texted her later. It's beautiful. Thank you. You're welcome. She never went back to being his cleaner. But she became something else. A consultant. A peer. A woman he respected. Malik thrived. He loved showing his friends his mom's magazine spread. That's my mom. No way. Yup. She worried he'd get cocky. But he stayed her thoughtful, goofy kid. You gonna buy us a mansion now? Nope. But I might get you a new bed. Deal. They high-fived. Years passed in small, steady wins. Monica never forgot where she came from. She kept one of her old gray uniforms folded in a drawer. When she felt overwhelmed, she'd pull it out and smooth the fabric with her hands. A reminder, not of shame, but of proof. Proof she could change her world without waiting for permission. One last party at Jackson's was different. Camille insisted Monica come. People want to see you. Monica showed up in navy silk, hair in an elegant twist. Jackson greeted her at the door. Monica. Jackson. They exchanged a nod. Inside, people drifted toward her with genuine smiles. No longer guests curious about the cleaning lady. Just people eager to see her. Jackson raised a glass that night and, surprising himself, gave a short toast. To real style. To honesty. And to the people who teach us both. He caught Monica's eye. For the first time, she smiled at him without reservation. Cheers, she mouthed. Because in the end, she hadn't just shown up like a diva. She'd shown up as herself. And no one could take that away.